The best, most inviting, beautiful, and comfortable spaces actually mix decor styles. But because mixing decor can be tricky, many people believe that you can't mix and match interior design styles and continue to think things like, everything has to match, or I can't add that to my decor because it doesn't go with my current style, or we're doomed, my husband and I have completely different decorating styles. Well, let me let you in on a little secret. Matching is not essential to beautiful home decor. In fact, it's downright boring. So stop stressing about having things match and let's come up with some clever ways to make the things you love work well together to create a beautiful, layered, and interesting home that reflects who you are and tells your story. Because it is possible to mix and match interior design styles in your home, and actually it's really important to do so because it creates a ton of visual interest and tells your story. If you love florals and the hubs loves texture, you have to find a way to weave the two different decorating styles together in a way that makes sense and doesn't make one person feel like they're living in someone else's home. Hard to do, I know, especially when your style is far superior to your spouse's. Today I'm going to teach you how to mix decor styles. I've used these 4 simple tips to mix decor in my own home and know they will get you out of the rut you're in and into the creative decorating flow you've been craving. The first tip is what I like to call the 80-20 rule. It's a ratio rule that will give you a perfect starting point. It pretty much means that once you've defined the different decorating styles you want to incorporate in your home, you'll think of the 2 main decor styles as a main character and supporting character. Those styles will be your 80 and your 20, meaning the main style will be represented in about 80% of the space and 20% will be the other style. Now, I suggest that you start by looking at the big ticket or larger items in the room, the ones that would be hard to replace, and let those be your 80%. My home decor style is modern traditional. So for the larger ticket items in my home, I'm going to look for elements of modern. Let's take a look at my family room as an example. My sofa and occasional chair have square arms which create clean lines common in modern decor. The rug has a lot of geometric pattern, also a characteristic of modern decor, and the coffee table is a mid-century modern remake. The colors are mostly gray and muted blue, which lend themselves to a more monochromatic color scheme. The traditional decor comes in with the floor-to-ceiling curtain panels, a lot of white painted furniture, and cabinetry with just a little bit of detail on the doors. There are also a good amount of accessories, which is more traditional than modern, but most of the accessories have an element of geometric and clean lines which help tie them into my modern style. I've had my home decor described to me by my friends as modern but not cold. Perfect, that's exactly what I'm going for. About 80% of the space has modern elements and the other 20%, the part that warms it up and makes it feel comfortable, hints at traditional style. Okay, tip number 2 is to group like items. Different but the same is key. Okay, now I grew up in the 80s. On any given day, my hair bow matched my shirt, which matched my kids. My mom, who has amazing taste, had a floral couch and a love seat in our front room, and the valance over the windows in the exact same print. The 80s made us think that everything had to match, but they don't. Predictable is out and so is being too matchy-matchy. Things don't need to match, they just need to go, and they can go together in a lot of different ways. A great way to tie unlike items together is by finding something they have in common and grouping them together. Items can be grouped by color, size, shape, or texture, and by displaying them together you create a collection, which has more impact and makes more sense than if each item were displayed on its own. This works especially well with smaller items. Let's take a look at a few examples of this tip in action. Items on a dresser can often be a bit random, but keeping them all the same color palette makes it look like everything goes together. Each shelf on the back wall in this kitchen is styled individually. The top shelf has larger items. On the middle shelf, everything is about the same size and clear glass of the same material. And on the bottom shelf, items are grouped together too. If you have a collection, instead of spreading the collection throughout the room, group them together for a bigger impact. All right, next, tip number 3 is that it's important to understand balance. What that means is you'll want to have items from each style balanced throughout your space. For example, if your better half is into rustic design and you haven't put all of his nods to rustic decor in one area of the room, it's not going to blend into the room well. Instead, if you have those rustic items placed throughout the room, or at least in two places, the space will feel balanced and the decor will come across as intentional. I like to think of it as everything in a room needs to have a buddy. Let's look at this fabulous living room designed by the amazing Emily Henderson and her team. Notice how your eye bounces around the room so easily. Nothing matches per se, but it all goes together so well, feels cozy and like it's evolved over time. Everything in here has a buddy. The coffee table tray, side table, and dining room chairs have the same wood tone and clean modern lines which nod to mid-century modern design. The chandelier over the table is also mid-century modern style. The tufting on the sofa mimics the tufting on the dining chairs and are more traditional in style. The gallery wall and the shape of the table lamp are also traditional in style. The side chair has clean lines which ties in with the modern style, but its velvet fabric is a bit more traditional and the color is carried throughout the space. To achieve the right style balance in a space, you'll first want to key in on exactly what needs to be in the room in order for it to function the way you need it to. Now, I've got a quick workbook and guide to walk you through these steps that I'll link below this video. Once you've decided what needs to stay or come into your space, you'll start by placing your largest furniture pieces first, keeping in mind the rules of visual weight and scale. For example, if you're decorating your bedroom and don't have matching nightstands, use different pieces on each side, but be sure they're similar in size. Remember, your largest furniture pieces are most likely going to dictate your main style, and some of the smaller pieces are your opportunity to bring in your supporting style. Once you've placed your furniture, it's time to add in your accessories and details. The hardest thing when it comes to mixing styles is probably when it comes to the accessories. Remember the rule, different but the same, and group things together accordingly. You want to mix the styles evenly throughout the room, but sometimes you'll have something you want to add to a space that doesn't have a buddy. Which brings me to my fourth tip, let the oddball be the focal point. If you have one element that's staying but doesn't have much in common with other items in the space, make it a focal point and instead of competing, it will stand alone. A perfect example would be a light fixture that is different in color, finish, or style than anything else in the room. Or maybe it is really big and much bigger in scale than the other elements you have going on in the room. That's okay. Hang it up and let it be the showstopper. So there they are, my 4 go-to tips for mixing and matching interior design styles. I hope they get you into taking action and creating a space you love, because a beautiful and functional home that feels like you is the best gift you can give yourself and your family. The link to grab the free printable room design guide is in the description of this video or at heytherehome.com/design workbook. And if you're wanting even more help, check out my step-by-step decorating course, Style Your Way Home, at styleyourwayhome.com. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by clicking the thumbs up, and if you haven't already, be sure to click the subscribe button because there are more simple decorating tips headed your way.